What's up, everybody? I'm Julian from Byline Houston. I'm here at River Revival, and here I have with me Topaz from Golden Dawn Arkestra. So in what ways do you feel that Golden Dawn is suited for an environment, like a festival environment?
A festival in general, or this festival?
Just a festival in general. I mean, I feel like a lot of festivals have this kind of like, just it's a real chill camping vibe or whatever.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? People are out.
I mean, the festival energy is good for us. We're definitely very theatrical, and so bigger stages and more space are better for us in a way. But in terms of being in nature, we bring a message. We always sort of would like to remind people that we worship the sun god Ra, and we take Mother Earth very seriously, of course, and worship her as well in our own way. And we are constantly reminding people that this is the only Earthship that they have, that the human race has, and that they need to take care of it. And otherwise, the sun god Ra is going to burn them, and it's all going to be over. So we worship the nature of it all as well. And so it's a huge inspiration for us, but it's I feel like it's an appropriate setting for us also to remind people with the message that we bring that get your shit together, you know?
Yeah, I got you. I think that's something that even science can back up. But the name Golden Dawn Arkestra, is that in some way affiliated with that ideology?
So one of our spiritual and, mostly a spiritual father is Sun Ra and he had the Sun Ra Orchestra, and we draw a lot on his teachings, and also on his costuming. Not so much musically, but some musically. We bring in, especially live, we'll bring in more of the organized chaos that he has in the size and the dancing. There are a lot of things that we draw on from him. And Golden Dawn is, it's a hermetic order, and the name just came to me. I wasn't real schooled in the way. I was definitely really into Sun Ra my entire life.
Okay.
Wasn't super schooled in the Golden Dawn teachings, but they actually align completely as well as it worked out. It kind of came to me in a vision. So
you guys had about like 10 members in the band, is that right?
We will probably be about 10 tonight, but it's a collective, and there's probably about 30 people in the collective.
I got you. All right.
So and when we play at home, we have a record release show coming up. So when we play our home shows, sometimes if we have a big enough stage, sometimes there'll be 18 of us.
It's insane.
That's including dancers, But
yeah. So how important is it for this band to have so many moving parts? So there's so many people in the band. I don't know if that plays into the aesthetic, or if it plays more into the music.
It's a little bit of both. I mean, my influences have always been bands that are large bands. It used to be much more common. I'm not sure what changed exactly, but it used to be a lot more common. Like all the bands that I could name to you that mine, of course, except for maybe jazz bands that I've been really influenced by, but all the jazz that I'm super influenced by were all huge bands. James Brown, Parliament Funkadelic, Fela Kuti, and then all the other bands in the 70s, like funk and soul and disco bands. They were all they all had dancers and costumes, and it used to be much more common.
Yeah.
But so sonically, it's always been something that I've been drawn to: the large horn sections, the percussion, all the added elements, and then visually, I love the dancers and the costumes.
Yeah.
And all, so it's both. It's both
cool.
Musical and, what was your question?
Well, just how it plays into the all the moving parts, how it plays into the overall.
I think it's musical and energetic.
How about logistically when it comes to recording an album? How do you filter out who's going to be in that? Do you try to include everyone at some point into the band? I mean, I know you mentioned some of it is just mostly just kind of visual, like dancers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
It varies from album to album, but we obviously we have not had the budget yet to record all at once. We typically will do the the rhythm section to tape,
Mm-hmm.
and then transfer to digital, and then transfer to tape, and then transfer to digital from tape, and then add all the other elements, the horns and the percussion. Usually we do live to tape, but then add like all the horns and all the candy, the synthesizers and stuff.
Yeah.
But then the dancers will come hang out, and sometimes some of them start singing with us and stuff like that. So
You guys are pretty well known for the masks, the costumes, the pageantry. Who designs all those outfits and all that stuff? Like all the visuals going on the stage.
My wife Rose, she kind of masterminds it all and oversees it all. She does a lot of it. She does a lot of my costumes and a lot of the other people's costumes. But then one of our other dancers, Echo, she's a clothing designer, and she has something called Echo Wear. And I would say some of the females in the band kind of do their own thing, but then my wife Rose and also Echo like do a lot of the costuming for the guys, and we just have sort of a, we come up, we all have our own characters, and they kind of develop over time what as we grow and change.
Cool. These characters, they have like lores behind them and stuff like that, their own like origins or
like backstories and everything. Yeah.
Awesome.
And
awesome.
We have our own names and everything.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is this something that is this something that's like personal, or like do people get to like how do people find out about it?
I think it depends. I mean that's one of the beauties of having masks and performing with masks and stuff. It's like there was actually I wish I should memorize this quote, because there was a great Bob Dylan quote, and there was that recent documentary where they're kind of in costumes and masks and a little bit of face paint. They did this tour where it was more theatrical. And he was like, the quote is something like, "Oh, we need more masks. We need more masks, because when you play with the mask, you're free. You're free."
Yeah.
And so it really frees you up to it just frees you up to find a different character or not be yourself. And I've definitely seen music, like some of the musicians that are typically like real reserved put on a mask, and all of a sudden they're just like rocking out and getting crazy.
That is true. As you mentioned, you had a new album coming up. Can you tell me a little bit about that, and what's 2020 going to look like for Golden Dawn Arkestra?
The new album is called Darkness Falls on the Edge of Time. Comes out October 11th. And super excited. I'm very proud of it. I'm not always proud of the stuff I do. I mean, I think it could be better. I was thinking it could be better. This one could be better. They could all be better.
It's hard to know when it's finished.
Yeah. But this one happened real fast and organically, so I always like that. And it's sort of a meditation and little bit of a concept album, like from the name, as you can tell from the name, it's sort of meditating on the end of time and the fact that we're living in these really dire times, and it could be the end of the world. It's no longer like actually just like paranoia or anything.
Yeah.
Like it could literally be the end of the world as we know it, at least for human beings. And so it's addressing that issue, but it's also addressing transforming yourselves and living in the light and inspiring people to, because they are such troubling times, like we are going through these dark times, but that music and art can set us free. Awesome.
I'm really interested in finding out what that sounds like phonetically. So yeah, I'm excited.
So yeah, there's more. I feel like the longer the band's been around, I guess that's because we definitely collaborate on the writing, but I do the lyrical writing, and that's definitely been some of my growth, like getting deeper into lyrics, because it's progressed from sort of just like chanting to a little bit more song oriented.
Gotcha. Cool, man. Well, thanks for your time, man. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoy the festival.
Yeah, man.
It's been
Thank
great.
you.
Yeah, thanks.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.